TeresaLouise back in the sewing room. It is Tuesday night, and hey, why not do two lives in one day? So, yeah, I'm back up here. It's a little bit after 9 o'clock, and I had a question in one of the lives once um, about how I stay organized. And for the most part, it's fairly organized, I think. Um, But I just got done with the project on the long arm, and I thought, I need to just take a few minutes and put some of this fabric away and kind of clean up in here. Because if I let it get too messy, then when I walk up here, I'm not productive. So I just thought I'd go through some of that with you. And yeah, I had a cup of coffee, so that woke me up. Okay, let's see if we have anybody here. Hi, S. Taylor. How's it going? Hello, Janine. How are you, sweetheart? And so, okay, how's it going for you? Hello, Shelly. Um, so remember the yardage I got for backgrounds? I'm putting it on a board. Now, what I do is I beg I beg the local quilt shops for these, and some of them say yeah I can have them, and some of them say no. Because one quilt shop, she said she uses it for inventory, so she saves all of them. But whatever, right? But the other quilt shop has no problem whatsoever. Even cut these in half and use them on your shelf for other cuts and stuff. But I usually save this for 5 yards or more, sometimes four, but yeah, usually all my background. And so that's what I'm doing, is putting that white on white background that I got from So Yeah on this board. So anywho, we have Shirley. Hello, Shirley. Let's see who else we have. Yeah, hi, Lisa. She says, what? Good evening. Hello, Marla. How's it going? Doing great. Getting some late night sewing in. That is cool. That's what I'm going to do. But first of all, getting some late night cleanup going. So I want to get this, fabric put away. And I have this nice big table here, and I'll put the camera down so you can see what I'm doing. I'm just putting the fabric on the board. No big deal, right? We all know how to do that. Do you guys get these boards for your fabric? So I don't press it. This fabric definitely needs to be pressed, but it's going to have to be pressed again, so why do it too many times, right? So I just try to stay as even as possible, and yeah, put that on there. And then all of these that I have on these boards, the only place I really have to store them is under the long arm. So on the back side of the long arm, that's where all my bolts of fabric are, which I don't have that many. And like I said, they are fabrics I plan on using for backgrounds. I need to go to the quilt store that gives you these and get some more. I could use about at least 5 more. Would be nice. And then I could put some of my other fabrics on there too, because I actually have quite a bit of room under the long arm, so that is space I could be utilizing that I'm not. Okay, so there's that. And then I just fold that raw edge over like that. And I find a really stiff pin. Like these. I think I got these pins from Missouri Star, and they're pretty heavy duty. Hi, Kim. So I just pin it in the back, one layer, so that it kind of, you know, holds it in place like that. And then I'll take it over here and put it under the long arm. All right, now for these 3-yard cuts, I have a place for 3 yards fabrics. Hello, Quilt Queen. See who else we got. Hi, Jamie. Oh, geez, sitting in the airport waiting for a flight to Tulsa. Marla is building Legos. Sally Tomato vintage sewing machine Lego set from Missouri Star came in the mail today. Awesome. That sounds like fun. Hi, Paula. Hello, Susan. Well, it looks like I'm busy, but I'll tell you what I did was so after the long arm video earlier today, I said I was going to go eat, so I did that. I took some medication and I laid down for about 45 minutes or so. And look how this fabric ripped. I don't know if they ripped it off the bolt or if it was like that already on their bolt, but that's what I'm talking about. Remember earlier when I was telling you about the white lines that you can get in your fabric from your needle when it is screen printed? That's what I was talking about. Those white lines in the selvage there. That's what kind of happens when you're piecing these together or long arming them, especially if you don't use a ballpoint needle. So this must be, well, it's Michael Miller fabric, so it doesn't say. You know, they should have to put on the fabric whether it's screen printed or not. You know? I guess you could kind of tell by looking at the back and seeing how white it is. I just don't know about these screen prints. I mean, they're beautiful, but boy, sometimes they're just really hard to work with. Oh, you do? Did you get it from So Yeah? That's where I got mine. So I'm just going to refold this. Anyway, so yeah, I took a little nap, took a rest, and then what did I do? I came back up here and I finished that quilt that was on the long arm, and then I took it to Sue so that she could at least get one going with the binding and stuff like that, and she was real happy with it, so that's good. So of course I had to visit with her for a little while, and I want those salvages hiding. So I'm just going to kind of, now I know, you know, what my shelf, what kind of folds to do for my shelf. And it's about like that, so that's good. So that'll go on my 3 yard. And then somebody in the comments said that, so yeah, I was selling fabric from Brewer on their for their solids, and she thought maybe that's what this was. But again, no, there's nothing here that tells me anything. But that's okay. I'm still going to use it in a quilt. And she said that it was cotton fabric, I mean. And that once it's washed up, it softens up. So, yeah, exactly, Kim. The darker it is in the back, the better the print, and it will hold its color better. You can tell a good screen print by how well the dye goes through the back. Exactly. Oh, you're welcome, Marla. Well, I don't know everything, but I do know a few things just because I've come across those issues when I'm long arming. What about you, Janine? Do you ever have that problem when you're long arming on screen print fabric, or have you ever noticed it? Like one time I did that cougar panel, and definitely that was a screen print, and that was when I first found out about that problem. And oh my god, I had it was terrible. Oh, it was terrible. So I belong to a few long arm sites on Facebook, and uh, now see, this one is not quite as white as that other one. So this is, I don't know if this is screen printed or not, but it's definitely a better weave of fabric, and it's from Andover, 2019. Uh, yeah, and boy, I'll tell you what, I had a heck of a time with that quilt, and it was the one that was going to be going in a raffle for a quilt show, and talk about stress. And on Facebook, I found out what the problem was, and that's where I found out to use a ballpoint needle. So there you go. Okay. Thank you, Janine. Really? That is good to know, Lisa. She said, I watched a thing that compared several solid lines, and Michael Miller won all categories. Okay. Well, the one piece of Michael Miller I have is not solid, but hi, Glenda. How are you tonight? Marla said, I'm a night owl after midnight here in Ohio. Love to catch the late lives. Yeah, I kind of like going live late at night because um, some of the people over in the UK and other areas have a chance to participate in the chat and stuff at a more reasonable hour, before they go to bed, right? So, anywho, so I'll get these. That's good enough. And I don't really need to put these on boards either, so there's this one. Now, I'm just going to set these there for a second. And this, I probably should have put this one on the board because I know it's 7 yards. Let me look over here. So this is where I keep those. And then over here on the shelf, those are 3 yards, 3 to 4 yards. And I can see they're kind of messed up. So I get to do that favorite thing and get down on the floor. Ow, pin got me. Ow. Okay, I didn't quite fold them right. But that's all right. Later. As usually what I do is like I will just sit down here and kind of refold everything a little bit. Okay. Get this in there. Let's see if I have. Maybe I'll take this one. It doesn't have much left on it. Yeah. I think I'll take this one and use it. So I'll refold this. I love this fabric though. Can you see that? I have to see how much fabric I have left on there. Don't look at all my fabric. Don't judge me. Sometimes I think that I have too much fabric. And then I see other people's stash and uh-oh, I'm bleeding. That pin got me down there. Okay, I'll be right back. I better go clean this off. It's not bad, you guys. Don't don't freak out. It's not bad. Is this a little scratch? But that it's not always good to put pins in. Oh, anyway, I'll just wait a second while that stops. A good thing I don't take warfarin or anything like that. It would take forever to quit bleeding. Okay, where was I? I don't remember what I was talking about now. That figures. Okay, let's see. Uh, yep. Ouch. Hi, Gloria. Yeah, I'm up here cleaning, so I just thought I'd have some company and visit with you guys. I'm feeling pretty good right now. Oh, measure the fabric. Thank you. Thanks, Nancy. Yeah, I want to measure that fabric. You, the other thing is, I was talking about those pieces that I use to check my bobbin. Um, somebody in the comments suggested sewing those together and then donating them to like animal shelters for cat beds or dog beds. And that's a great idea. But be sure if you're going to do that, that you contact the organization that you want to send it to and find out what their guidelines are because um, Brandon and I used to, when we lived over by Baker City, um, when those, well, they looked like sheep wool, but it was the fake stuff. Whenever those went on sale at Bimart or wherever, I would buy quite a few of those up, and then I would donate them to my veterinary clinic. But they only wanted certain size ones, and one of the other clinics didn't want them at all. In fact, um, I've been in their area where they keep the dogs, and they didn't provide anything to lay on at all for the animals. It really kind of pissed me off, you know. So you do have to check with that first. And we don't really have a local shelter here. The closest one is, I think, up in Lewiston. So you're talking, you know, 3.5 hours away. But there is a organization in Grangeville that's like called like Animal Arc or something like that, and they do like foster care. So I was thinking I might contact them and see if they're interested in taking things like this and what would be the best size. Also, one of the comments said, hey, that might be a great thing to sew those pieces together and then have them for like out in the garage for the dogs to lay on or whatever, you know. And I thought that was a really good idea too because and even for my husband, he's always using like old blankets and stuff like that. Um, and he throws them down to lay on under the car, or he throws them out for Annie to lay on, you know, because she's always with him. So, okay, I think that stopped bleeding. Might be safe now. I hope. Boy, that kind of hurt actually. Um, make sure I didn't get any blood on this pretty fabric. Looks like there's at least 2 yards here. Hello, Stephanie. How's it going? Oh, you are welcome. I can't sleep either, you know. I shouldn't have had that cup of coffee. I'm not usually drinking coffee at night. And then I had a cup. Woohoo! So, yeah. Let's see. I'll probably have to go over here to measure it. So it's about 2.5 yards. So I could still use it for background fabric if I want to. It would have to be a smaller quilt though, you know. But a lot of those quilt patterns from the Fat Quarter shop, a lot of those are like 2.25 yards for background. So, but I will just put it on the shelf over there. I should have put it on a comic board, but oh well. I'm out. Comic boards. Yeah. Iowa girls are all still awake. What's going on? It's kind of warm in here too. Okay. Hi, Irish lady. Hi, Constance. Oh, that's the other reason why I came on, because I know you know who was on. I don't know if they still are or not. And I thought maybe there's some people out there I need to rescue. Other place, right? So I'm not tempted. I do too, Marla. I really enjoyed Tiffany's late night um, sewing. That's when I first started watching her because I was usually awake, and then she would come on, and I don't know what she would always end up putting me to sleep. The humming of the sewing machine and her just talking. She has a very pleasant voice. She doesn't yell a lot, not a lot of fluctuation in her voice tone. So that really helps. Oh, good. Glenda said, doing better now that I caught your live. Well, thank you. Okay, let's see where we're at. 63 degrees. Hi, Jackie. Getting ready to drive. The second raffle did sell out. Well, that's good. Okay, so I'll put this up. I need to order some more comic boards. I need a pen and paper. Do you guys every now and then go through and refold your fabric? And do you think that's a good idea to do that? You know, um, I haven't done it in quite a while. There's some of them that I will refold that are real thick, folded over. But the ones I have on comic boards, I haven't done that. And I'm kind of wondering if maybe I should, because I don't want to like develop any permanent lines in them. And I have gotten fabric from like yard sales and stuff like that have that crease line. So I'm just kind of wondering if maybe I shouldn't refold the fabric. What do you think, Stephanie? You have a lot of fabric and you sell a lot of fabric. Now this fabric is nice and soft. I like this. Let's see what it is. Blank Quilting Corporation. Lower the volume. Huh. I've never heard of that, but it is soft. It feels like a really nice sheet. It's the one that has the um, rain rainbows and clouds on it that I got from the quilt store for $4 a yard. A lot better than you know who. Smoke in Indiana. No smoke here now, Stephanie. I'm outside, says Marla. Boys. Whoop. Okay, I stopped for a minute. Marla said, I heard Stephanie had dinner with the boys at the event in Chicago. Did you have fun, Stephanie? Shelly says, that's probably a good idea, but no, she doesn't. So she's answering my question about folding the fabric. I'm guessing. Yeah, I think she's on some, she's trying to be really good, and I'm talking about Tiffany, about her sleeping, you know, going to bed at a certain time, getting up at a certain time, and I think it's really helping her. So, me, I would be better at doing that if I started dinner at the same time every day. Um, I don't do that. And so if I eat a little later than normal, I can, you know, I have to stay up at least 3 hours after I eat because I have silent reflux, and that's one of my rules I have to follow. I can't wait to use this background for a project, and I'm thinking about using it with some Tula pink. I think it would be really cute. Stephanie's got smoke pretty bad there, it sounds like. Was there, okay, Stephanie said yes to Chicago, was there on business, and they were at the same trade show. It was a nice time. Awesome. Lisa says, excuse me, it was it wasn't pretty today, but it was supposed to be, it's supposed to be better tomorrow. I can't imagine what it is north of us. Gloria said, did some outside work today to exhaust and too exhausted to see. That's a bummer because I got my light box today and I want to try it out. Oh, fun. Hi, Lori. You were just about ready to quit sewing. Oh, Texas has high temperatures, way too hot for you. Lori said it's pretty thick today. It's getting worse tomorrow. Uh-oh. Well, we have had so much rain and thunder and lightning, but thank goodness we're having rain with that. And I'm just praying that we don't get fires this year like we have the last couple of years, because I'm getting pretty tired of that smoke. So, most of the fabric is on the floor over there, and then I just slide it along the table and roll it up. Try to smooth it out as much as possible. Tomorrow, I'm going to go through those fabrics down there and pull out any pins, because some of those are from Creative Notions, and they had little post-it notes pinned on there with straight pins. So I need to take those off. I didn't even think about it, but I left them on because it says how many yards are there. But maybe I should just use a safety pin, because I definitely do not want to cut myself again. Marla says, I can't see or smell any of the smoke here, but I'm closer to central Ohio than northeast. Yeah, you might not see it, but it's probably still there, and that's probably causing you some problems too. Last year, when we had the smoke so bad, most of the time when I went outside, I put a face mask on so I could breathe, or at least a handkerchief or something, you know. It got pretty bad. And even though I would like some nice sunny weather, here it is, almost July, and my grass is still just as green as can be, and I haven't had to water one time. And that's just not normal. So that has been great to look out there almost, the 1st of July, and my yard is just lush green. And I think I told you earlier, it was really sunny and pretty this morning when I took the dogs for a walk, but then by 11 o'clock it was storming and getting ready. You would have thought they would just have given me this bolt since I bought everything that was on the bolt, right? But there, look at that. So I should be able to get a couple of quilts out of this, right? You got brown grass. Oh, that's a bummer. Oh no, Lori. They She had flooding, and even though it was pouring rain today, the smoke seemed to get worse, huh? Can see and smell it. Oh gosh, Constance, 102. Oh, I don't like Muggy. Me and Muggy did not get along. I just been raised in the drier climates for so long. In fact, my first husband and I moved over by Seattle. He got a job there right out of school, or it was like a trade school thing, and he went and took computer programming. And anyway, he got a job up by Seattle, and so we moved up there. And I sniffed. I had the snivels constantly. It was so rainy and damp there, I couldn't stand it. I was so glad when we moved back to Boise area in Idaho. Okay, I'll just move these. Oh, if I can get some room here. All right. So, doing good, getting things cleaned up. Now, what I tend to do now, and this is bad, this is a bad habit. Um, right here, I get little piles of things that need to be put up. Okay, and this doesn't look too bad, actually. I've seen it worse over here. So this is one of the areas I want to get this put away. So that's what I'm going to do. So this is end of the bolt. It's a 108, but there's only 3/4 of a yard of fabric. This one might make a really pretty background. Isn't that pretty? Purple. So I'm just going to put it down here with my 3 yards. And then this is Halloween fabric, so it needs to go with the Halloween fabric. And this orange, I could either put this back on the shelf or I could put it with the Halloween. This is Halloween. I'm going to be doing a Halloween project, so I think I'll put this with my Halloween stuff. So I'll just set that over there. And these are some scraps left over from a quilt backing. And then from a Sew Sampler box here. That's what both of these are. So jelly rolls. So I'll put these up where they go because I have a spot for jelly rolls and layer cakes. And I have a spot down there for flannel. And I'll just keep it with the flannel. There's not enough there really to, for backing or anything, but I kind of like to keep like fabrics together. And that way I don't have to hunt with it. Okay, this was one of the background fabrics I did. And here's a little piece. Okay, there's no more on the bolt. So let's see how much is here. Looks like about 1.5 yards. So I think I will just put it with my 1 yard cuts there. If I can get it folded right correctly. And I'm just going to keep this with it because, I might need it. And if I put it with my scraps, then if I put it with my scraps and then actually needed it with this, it would be too late, right? Okay, so I'm going to put that with my 1 yards. Do you remember who it was that got the pattern that I gave away that this fabric went with? If you're the person, let me know. Okay, then I have this, which I also used as a background. And actually looked like there's about 2.5 yards there. Boy, I wish I had my comic boards, darn it. That's probably why all this was piled up here. So I'm just going to fold it like that and lay it in on top. Yeah, I definitely need my more comic boards and to go through that and clean it. Definitely. Straighten it back up. Okay, so all my Halloween fabric is in the closet. I don't have that much, so see, that's not that much. I don't do a lot of Halloween, so I'm just going to keep all of it together. Because I do want to do that free pattern from the Fat Quarter shop that they just got done doing. I've been downloading those patterns, and when I get caught up on some other things, then I'm going to go ahead and start that. But I'm going to make it bigger, of course. Oh, okay, Marla. Comic boards are like an 8.5 by 11 or 8 by 11 cardstock pieces of paper that, or the size of a comic. You know what a comic book is? And so the comic boards are acid free, and people who collect comic books use those to protect the comic book. Okay. Well, I don't know who figured it out, because a lot of people do this. A lot of people in quilting use the comic boards to fold their fabric onto. So let me show you. Now, this isn't a comic board, but um, and so when I first started getting fabric, I didn't really understand about the comic boards, so I still have cardboard in them. And I cut all these cardboards about like this, and then you just take it. So pretend this is a comic board, acid free, because cardboard, regular cardboard, is not acid free. Okay, so don't use cardboard like I'm doing. So then you just fold your fabric so that it's the size that you want it, and it holds it nice and firm, right? So then you can stand it up on the shelf easier, and it doesn't fall over and all that stuff. So that's why they use, oh, they're 6 3/4 by 10.5. Okay, thanks, Marla. That seems kind of small. And then you can just stand it up. You see how I have those all standing up? It's because they're on boards. Okay. All right. Let's see. I'm going to look through here real quick. You better go to bed, Lisa. Get yourself to bed. Oh, they come in different sizes? Yeah, I'll have to measure my shelf over there, and then order the ones that are the right size for me. Hi, Crystal. How are you doing? Oh, that's probably okay using foam board. Oh, good idea, Jackie. Magazine boards. Great. Good night, Lori. Sweet dreams. So yeah, on Amazon, just type in, you could type in magazine boards or comic boards. But I would make sure that they don't have, or that they are the acid free. Okay. Because that's the main thing. Because if fabric is on non acid free cardboard or whatever for too long, it could damage your fabric. Okay, Crystal. I hope um, I hope you have a good night and have fun with the grandson. Um, well, Gloria, what I did when I first started quilting is I would buy pre-cuts like charm packs, layer cakes. Charm packs and layer cakes were my two favorite. Um, and then there's jelly rolls, and you could go to the Fat Quarter Shop or Missouri Star Quilt Company, and there's probably other places out there too. Or just put a Google search and things will come up, and buy them on sale. Okay, because those have gotten pretty pre-cuts have gotten kind of spendy. And when I first started getting them, I got them off of eBay, my charm packs, and I was paying anywhere from $4 to $7 for the charm pack, and they were all Moda fabrics. So, and then make sure um, that the seller that you're buying from has good feedback, right? So that's how I started out, and the all my yardage that um, I had been collecting like 2 yard, 1 yard, 2 yards, 1 yard, 2 yards, because I made aprons and stuff like that. I wasn't really quilting, but now I can use those for borders and stuff like that. So I usually, when I buy yardage, if it's on sale, usually, I get at least a yard. If I have a plan for it in a border or I know what I need uh, measurement wise, then I buy that. If it's a fabric that I really like, I get at least 3 yards. And then if it's one, like say it's a $4 a yard, like I got the other day, um, I can use that for backing or um, background. And so you got to think about what you can use your fabric for, how it can be used, you know. And then there's some of us that just collect it. I'm not saying who, I'm not pointing any fingers. Hi, Kathleen. Anyway, when you buy the pre-cuts like that, it takes the hassle out of trying to match your fabrics. And I think that kind of helps. And then go to Missouri Start Quilt and check out Jenny Doan. She has tons of videos using charm packs, layer cakes, jelly rolls, and she makes it really easy, really easy. Marla, are you telling on me? Yeah, I don't have as much as some people, but I'm I do collect a little bit of Tula. Yeah, I think out of all the pre-cuts, I have to say I think the layer cake is my favorite because you can just cut it. There's so many different things you can do with it. Well, fat quarters. I love fat quarters. I got plenty of fat quarters. Okay, looks like I'm back on to help you out. Your work, yeah. Try to find the deals on your Tula, definitely. That fabric, Teresa, was that fabric panel the 990010P? Which fabric panel? Oh, that one that had the little circles on it. This. That came in a sew sampler box. Is that what you're talking about? Yes. Okay. Um, My favorite color is Moda. 9900. You won the pattern? Oh, cool. Do you want this? Because you know I don't do solids, so um, and I can go back and check because I do have it all written down. Yeah, Bella stock number 9900. And I thought about just quilting it up, but yeah, I won't use it. I thought about just using it for a backing on a baby quilt or something, and they could, you know, learn to count numbers. Okay, Nancy. Um, Send me an email with your address again. I know I have your address somewhere, but it'll just be easier if you send me an email. So I'll put that away from, because I remember when you won the pattern, I was going to give you, or whoever won the pattern, I was going to give you that fabric, but I couldn't find it anywhere. And then when I cleaned this whole thing up months and months and months ago, I I found it. And I was like trying to remember who got the pattern. Yeah, me too, Marla. Usually, but there are so many pretty prints that you can use that read solid that that's what I do. So, okay, going back in the closet. Okay, now where's the next thing? Okay, so I got that put away. Did that, doing good. Okay, now usually it wouldn't take you as long tidying up, you know, but I've been doing a lot of stopping and talking and, you know, so, and goofing off. What is the smallest fabric you put on a comic board? Well, okay, well, because of the way my shelves are, they are very shallow. Okay, so it's only, let me measure it. It's almost 8 inches deep. So, and I actually need some more shelving for that. But so okay, what was the question again? What's the smallest? Um, 2 yards. My 1 yards, if it's 1 yard to 2 yards, it gets folded like this. And it's about 8 inches. And then it's just tall enough to fit on my shelf right there. So, you know, that's really what you need to determine is your shelving and, you know, how you can put things on there. Anything that is 2 yards or more goes on a board and then it gets um, folded up a little bit differently and then put on the shelf standing up. So just at a glance, I can see I have all of these are 1 yards. That's 1 yards. This is 1 yard to about here. These are all 2 yards or more, 2 shelves of that. And then some of these that I have down here, um, I just don't have room over there. But some of it is like 5 yards. It's for background, or not background, the backing. And then all of these up here are fat quarters, loose fat quarters. And then my fat quarter bundles are like here, and they're still bundled up, like this. And I only get that stuff now when it's on sale, like, I mean, a good price. So a lot of times I miss out on the new stuff because I'm waiting for um, it to go on sale, or just to find it, and then I pick it up. And if it's something that sometimes I'm not even really looking for that fabric, but I think, oh, that's really pretty, I could use that in something, then I'll pick it up and buy it. I don't think I've ever paid, in fact, I know I haven't ever paid over $100 for a fat quarter bundle. And we're talking, like 35 pieces. I just, when I see 100 and whatever, I just, like on the, um, over. And so, yeah, today is their normal fabric sale day, regular price. And even though it's really pretty, I don't want to pay 100 and something for a fat quarter bundle. Yeah, if I had room, I would put my 1 yards on a comic board. But actually, this works pretty good for me because at a glance, I could just go, if I only needed something, a yard, like if I'm doing a 3 yard fabric, 3 yard quilt, I could just go over here and go through all my 1 yard pieces first and try to find the 3 yards that I need. So that makes it really easy. And I don't, um, like my 2 yards, some of those are like 2 to 4 yards on those boards. And I don't write anywhere on it how much yardage there is on it. Because after a while, you can kind of tell how thick it is about how many yards you have there. But anyway, but I'll tell you, there's been a lot of times that I've thought I've had, you know, enough for a backing, and I pulled it off of there, and it's not. I just a little bit not enough. It's really irritating. Yeah, and this shelf is it was here when we moved in, and of course I think she used it as a bookshelf or knickknacks or whatever, but it is pretty darn sturdy. We and it's really really heavy. We couldn't move it. We wanted to put it down in the um, family room, down in the downstairs, but it was too heavy, and even with all the taking the shelves off and everything, just like nah. I have a lot of mine on AC board, and I'll tell you, it is harder to see what you have because you see folded thinner. I like a thick fold. Okay, Kathleen, that sounds all right. Yeah, I think they knew I was going to be here and I was going to use this room for my sewing room. Oh, hi Meredith. Last year's disappearing 9-patch Halloween you were sewing fabrics, mostly colors, not Halloween prints. I was not pleased with how it looked. Bought Halloween prints to add, but not done. Maybe soon. Okay. Um, okay, wait. Last year's disappearing 9-patch Halloween you were sewing. Fabrics. Well, all of my fabrics were Halloween that I used on there. Did you mean yours weren't Halloween? Yeah, I think that's what you mean. Yeah, I got that one all quilted up and it went to a new home. It got donated. Okay. Alrighty. Um, so let's see. And then down there, on that green shelf that you see way down there, I have pre-cuts like charm packs, jelly rolls, layer cakes, half layer cakes, things like that. And then I have some little buckets down there that I put zippers um, and panels in down there. All right. What was I? Other quilt to quilt. I'll just kind of straighten this area up a little bit. This got to go back over there. I guess I can throw my blood rag away. Oh, I know what I wanted to do. I wanted to iron on the fusible for the calendar quilt. What time do we got? Oh, it's just after 10. Oh, one of the things I will say I did do with some practice when I first got my long arm. And like, this would probably make a great quilt for out in the garage or whatever. But I use it to look at different patterns, to give me ideas. And because also I think it's really pretty. I should put a binding on it sometime. But, you know, so it's just different designs, practicing, playing around on the long arm. So I haven't gotten rid of it, but I use it. I fold it in half over here at the end of the table like this. And I use it as a pressing, like an iron board, right? When I get tired of purple, I just open it up, flip it around, and then I can have brown. And I used a lot of variety thread, variegated thread, and so that's really pretty on that brown. So yeah, so you can see. So this would be like something I wouldn't just toss and get rid of, because I enjoy looking at it. And it's still functional right here. Okay, so I'm going to bring over some applique paper, applique paper and these pieces, and I need the iron too, so. Grab the iron. Thank you. Yeah, good tool. Exactly. I'll get this plugged in. You guys, I have not worked on the tiger quilt. What's it been, like 3 weeks? So it's not even close to being done. I still have the, let's see, section with the mouth left to do. That's the only section I have left. And it's piled up. Okay, so here is a really good example that you don't normally get to see, but I'll show you, okay? Because it's a mess. And I don't want you to think that everything is perfectly clean. Now look. See? It's all piled up. Here's then I have it laying all over here. And then here's a bunch of batik fabrics. Here's, that's just all piled up. I haven't put them away. And I mean, it's just a mess, right? It's kind of a organized mess, I guess. It's just all piled up. There. So, see, I am messy. And some of you might be saying, oh, that's not messy. All right. Fusible. Then, what did I do with my, there it is, pressing mat, fusible mat thing. This, you got to have one of these. Keep the glue off of from your fusible, keep it off of your iron, right? Hey, Katie, how's it going? I knew somebody was going to say that. She said, your mess is neater than my mess. My mess is really bad, Teresa. I love wildcats and wildlife. Me too. Kathleen. She said, yeah, look, I see organized possibilities, not a mess. Pop over here and I can show you the difference. Well, let's sew together tomorrow and you can show me. What is that? This is, I don't know, girls, what do you, like, is it Teflon? I don't have the box for this anymore, I don't think. You get it at the quilt store, or you could get it on Amazon, probably. But you use it for applique, okay? So if you're using sticky paper, which is what we call fusible, and that has a shiny side, this one does, and then it has, this side is the glue, and so this is what you will use for applique. And when you need to get this pressed onto your fabric, and I'll show you because I'm going to be doing it, okay? You use this in between, and your iron goes on top, okay? Jim here? I didn't see him. Oh, okay. Oh, there he is. Hi, Jim. How are you doing tonight? All right, I'll show you. I'll bring over my pieces. think I got them all. Hi, JB. How's it going? Okay, got all my pieces. Okay, Marla says, I think they call it a Teflon mat. Yeah, that's what I think too. Oh, I'm sorry, Katie. I hope you get to feeling well. Better. Gloria is still working on the vortex. I think my light box will really help with that. Yeah, I would love to get one of those one of these days. I like that, Susan. Hey, it's a work in progress. We all have those areas. That is true. Marla, that's a good one. So, how many of you are sitting and watching Teresa straighten up instead of straightening up with her? I like that. Oh, Jim has a stuffy nose. Okay, let me, because of the air quality. All right, let me put that back a little bit, and I'll put the camera down so that Constance can see this. Um, okay, one thing I always do, I keep it rolled up so I know what is the inside and what is the outside. So the inside is the side that I put the applique next to, and this outside is what is okay for me to iron on, okay? Because if you don't pick a side, then you're going to end up with um, glue on the wrong side, right? In fact, I think I did that once because I can see some glue right there. And then that's going to get all over your iron. Okay, I should try that iron cleaning thing I got. See if that works. Take that off. All right. So I'll set that aside. These are my pieces. And what I'm going to do is I need the glue side up. And this is double-sided fusible paper. Okay. So once I heat this down and then I cut this out and I tear the back side of this paper off, the shiny part, there'll be glue on the back side of that star. Okay, so I'm just going to set all these on there. A little something. Try and get as many on there as I can. I might have to iron some of these beforehand. So a little more room. And you want this on the back side of your fabric, not the front. I'm just pressing these because they're wrinkled. Like right here, it's all wrinkled. That's the only reason I'm pressing those out. Because you do not have to press them before you put them on here. Unless they're wrinkly. You want to get the wrinkles out of there. You don't want it too hot either when you throw it over there. So let it cool off. Okay, that one's okay. So I'm just going to try and fit as much on here as I can. Okay, this one, I have enough room for that one. Yep, looks like it. I'll put some bows on here. This is gonna roll. Oh, come here, chicken. Put that chicken there. There. So you have to use all kinds of crazy things. Now I can put my stars on here. Looks good. There. Use the starch. So just going to try and get as many on here as I can. Now, some people, if you have a pattern, you draw. See, I'm doing it kind of a different way than, you know, because I'm not doing the calendar quilt exactly how the pattern tells you. I want to cut that out a little bit more. So that's why I'm doing this a little bit different. Okay. Move that one there. All right, now I'm going to take, hi Crystal, how are you doing? I'm going to take my Teflon and lay it over the top of my pieces here. Like so. And it's not going to fit on the whole thing, so. But I want to cover up all of the sticky paper with the Teflon sheet. I don't want any of that Teflon or the sticky paper poking out to get on my iron. Okay, now I'm going to press it. I'm kind of thinking to myself, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Let's kind of move it along. Okay, then, whew, that's hot. And I'm going to move this. And some of that glue is coming off on here. So then I'm going to get that glue off of there. And it just rolls right off. The reason why I'm getting that off now is because I don't want to stick it over the fabric on the other side there that I still need to press. Okay, throw that away. Okay. Now, do these other ones. Okay. Let that cool off a little bit before I move it. Hi, June. How are you? Hello, Mary. How's it going? What's the white? Well, this is a Teflon sheet, and then the white paper underneath it is fusible applique paper. You're welcome, Constance. No problem. Huh, that's interesting. Oop, I'm spinning. Looks like I'm back. Sorry about the spinning. Yeah, it's nice to have you. Internet problems is what we're having. I bet my husband turned the TV on in the bedroom, and that always messes my internet up. I agree, June. The dryer sheets look like the ones we got in the Sew Sample box. Really? Okay, I got to read your whole comment. About those iron cleaning sheets from the Sew Sampler box. I tried them. Didn't work great. More to come. Didn't work great. More to come. But I was folding clothes and thought the dryer sheets look like the ones we got. So I used the used dryer sheets according to directions, and they worked better. Really? Now that's interesting. Yeah, I think they're dryer sheets for sure. I'm glad you tested that out. Yes, Kathleen has a drunk leprechaun in her phone. She's had one there for a long time. Sometimes I just give up trying to read them. Yes, the stick-ons are fabric. Yep. I am ironing the fabric onto the fusible paper so that they are sticky, so I can get the glue on the back of these pieces of fabric. Okay, so let's peel that off. So that's a little bit better. You don't get, once you let it cool off, you don't get as much glue stuck onto your Teflon. So that's a lot better. I kind of had a feeling I pulled that off of there too soon. Okay, now I want to show you one other thing, Constance. Yeah, I bet, June. Okay. I don't know what Kathleen is talking about. Okay, gotta let that cool a little bit more. Now, I want to show you something. So, this is the Calendar Quilts book. Whoops, I had it right. I had it right the first time. That we've been doing on the channel. And as you probably know, okay, this is the July one, which is what I'm working on, but I'm totally changing this section and I'm using these instead for that. Okay, but let's say I was going to do this. What I would do, instead of doing this, like what I just did, now I cut out all around these, okay? And then I'll cut one out and I'll show you what it looks like with the glue on the back. All right, so you have a pattern for your applique pieces. Now I don't know if you can see this or not, but there you go. Okay, and what you would do, and this works a lot better if you have a table light, but I don't have one to use. Okay, so what you would normally do is here's your fusible webbing. So you would take your fusible webbing, this side that has the sticky on it, you lay it flat on your paper, okay? And you would trace that flower out. So I'm tracing around this flower, and I'm trace that circle out. Okay, so I'm just going to do one, but normally I would go around and trace all of the pieces that I need onto my fusible webbing. Okay, so let's pretend I did that. And you notice I have no fabric on here yet. Then you get your paper scissors. Okay, so you have paper scissors. I always make sure they're just the orange handled ones. And then you have fabric scissors. And the two cannot be interchangeable. Okay? Because if you use your fabric scissors on your paper, you're going to dull your scissors. So I'm just going to rough cut this out. And I'm, kind of letting you know more stuff because Constance said she's new to all this. So I'm just going to cut away about 1/4 of an inch or so away from the line that I just drew. Okay, so there's my flower, right? Then I get a piece of fabric that I'm going to use for my flower. So let me go grab a scrap. Okay, this will make a pretty flower. Okay, so now you have the sticky side, which is the glue, and then you have this side, which is nice and shiny. It's this kind of reminds me of like meat wrapping paper. Okay, so what you do is you lay out your fabric. Make sure you don't have any wrinkles where you're gonna do this at. The pretty side of the fabric goes down, so the wrong side stays up, and then you take your design and you lay it on the wrong side of your fabric. Okay, and now you take your pressing Teflon sheet and you lay it on top like so, and you press that. Okay, 1 2 3, 1 2 3, 1 2 3. Okay, now when you do it this way, you're not going to, there's no glue. You don't have to worry about that at all because it's on your fabric. Right? Not like how I did those other ones. So I have that. As a matter of fact, you wouldn't even have to use that Teflon sheet because all your glue is face down. So you could just actually press it like this. Now some people use steam, and I think both ways work. And when I do it this way, what I always do is flip it over and press the other side. Okay, and then just let that cool. Now, before I press the other side of this one, because there's still glue around these, I don't want to put this, face down and iron because I would get glue all over my ironing pad. So I will cut all these out first, and then I will iron the back of all of these and then you let them cool, completely cool, and then you take the paper off. Okay? So let that cool. And while that is cooling, I'll read the comments. Okay, Mary. Mary said, I'll rewatch from the beginning if I don't fall asleep. Okay, sweetheart. Thanks. Constance got the eyeballs and she says, I'm watching closely. Oh man, they're having a party next door. I can hear their music. I was wondering about that because a whole bunch of people showed up over there today. Yeah, I know, Kathleen. She said she's talking about the names. Yeah, that's true, Kathleen. She said, if you were in the chat, I would actually make sense for a change. She said, I hope I be making sense. Okay, I'm going to skip all the name things. Oh, hi, Sheila. You're welcome. Okay, so now that's nice and cool. All right. And you can use your paper scissors on your fabric. That's okay. But don't use your fabric scissors on paper. So I'm just going to rough cut this out. Actually, I'm going to cut it closer to the line that I drew. And you definitely don't want to cut the paper and fabric with your fabric scissors, okay? Use your paper scissors. Because it is true. It's not one of those old wise tales. It really does. I tested it, believe me. And the paper really does dull your good fabric scissors. And then you'll have to take them in and get them sharpened. Okay. At least they're listening to good music down there. And I probably wouldn't even hear it at all, but I kind of have this door cracked open a little bit over here so I can hear it. Plus, I just have really good ears. Okay, so that's all cut out. Now, if I was ready to put it on another piece of fabric, um, how you get that off is you score the back. So just take a pin, straight pin, and just very easily and lightly, you don't have to press real hard, score the back of it like that. So you're just trying to rip the paper, not the fabric. And get your fingernail under there. And slide that in there and just rip off your paper. Okay. Very easily, and make sure it's totally cooled off. Now, if when you're ripping this, if you can see the glue come away from the fabric, stop and fold it back up and press it again. Leave it on there a little bit longer and then let it completely cool off before you pull your paper off. And then there you go, just like that. And now this backing has glue on it and it's ready to lay on your project. So if I was going to use this, then I would just put it where I wanted it, right? And then I would press it and it would stay there. It would be glued on. Then the next process is to sew either a blanket stitch, and you can do this by hand or by sewing machine, or a straight stitch, or maybe you have pretty little stitches on your sewing machine that you would like to use. It doesn't really matter. You can do whatever you want, because you know what? What is this? This is your project. So you do you. And you would sew all the way around it, and that will help hold it down. So, like in the washing and all that kind of thing. Um, because after a while, the glue on the back of this, if you okay, I noticed that I lost you for a minute, so I just waited. Uh, so eventually, this lightweight stuff will wash out. So that's one reason. Now, this technique is called raw edge applique because I'm not folding these edges over, it's just the raw edge, and I'm sewing that blanket stitch down along the raw edge of it. So they call that raw edge applique. And that's what I do mostly. I really have not done needle turned applique. And then there's another technique too that I haven't done too much of that one either. And I can't remember what that one's called at the moment. So I hope that helps. And so these are what is going to go on here. So I will do something with this. I'll probably save it for a little mug rug or something. So what I would do now is go ahead and come along, cut these out. Now you can either, I'm just going to rough cut one out real quick. Partly there. Now, what you could do is take your Teflon sheet, lay it over, take this and lay it over, because you want to, remember we haven't pressed the back side of that yet. You definitely need to press both sides because you're going to get better results. Okay, so then you let that cool. Oh, I lost a star on the ground. Hi, Lynn. She says, good morning, everyone. Yes, I am. Is TeresaLouise burning the midnight oil again? And she's getting ready for work. Oh, darn it, Lynn. Yeah, I could use it for a label on the back of some project. That's a great idea, Jim. Yeah, exactly. That's cool. Yes, it opens a lot of options and ideas. Oh, thank you, Kathleen. That's very sweet. Um, make it very easy for everyone to grasp. Not everyone can do that. Well, thank you, Kathleen. I really appreciate that. Oh, take him some jam. That's a good idea. And then ask him to hold it down. Yeah, people love to have the bass drums going pretty deep, don't they? Thank you, Mary. She said the reds really look pretty. Whoop, the battery's going low here. Gotta plug you in. Well, like I said, they're listening to good music, so that helps. Okay, so now I'm just going to take that off. Okay. that's ready to go on there. And I'm not sure exactly where I want to put it, but at this point, I could go ahead and finish trimming this out. Uh, but my thumb is kind of getting sore, so I might have to take these down and have Brandon trim them out for me. And I need to take a peanut break, I think. That's going to the little girl's room. I was hoping to get this done before uh, the 4th of July, but I'm not sure I will. I think I'll get them all ironed on there, but I don't know that I can get them all stitched down, you know what I mean? Because I still have 2 more quilting projects for the long arm that I need to get done. Oh boy. I always get myself into these things. I need to step back. Well, you know, with Brandon being sick, it kind of really throws you for a loop, you know, and your schedule gets all wonky. So even though I did this technique a little bit different, now the process is still the same. I would score the back of this, gently remove the paper, and then it would be ready to iron on there. And then you would do your either a blanket stitch or zigzag or satin stitch. There's a lot of different stitches you could do. The most common one, or what's used the most, is what they call the blanket stitch. And most of your new sewing machines that have a lot of stitches on it, they come with that blanket stitch. So you just got to locate it. So I would just look in your book. Okay. Hold on just a minute. Oh, Lynn says she only works 2 days a week. Well, that's not too bad. Um, I'm going to use the stars. Remember? Did you see that, Miss Taylor? I'm gonna. I think. I think. I'm gonna cut these out. These stars out in a strip. And use that. I'm hoping there's enough here. There's quite a bit. There's more than a yard. There's like a yard and a quarter or so. So I should have enough. So that's what I'm thinking about using are those. And I think that'd be okay. I think that would be really cute, actually. Might be kind of a pain in the to sew down, but maybe not use a blanket stitch on that. Maybe just a straight stitch. I don't know. We'll see. Okay, I'll be right back. You guys entertain each other, and let me go. Be right back. Okay, I'm back. Oh, I have a lot of quilts to quilt. You guys want to see? Look at this. Oh my God. Somebody want to come over, learn how to long arm? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 19. It seems like it's been at 19 forever. Okay, I'm going to move you guys over here and sit down for a little bit because I need to sit down and cut these out. And then we can visit whatever, right? I wish I would have brought some water up. Getting kind of thirsty. I can't wait to do the next block on that pressed flower. Those are scraps. Oh, I need my cell phone stand. It sounds like they turned down the music. I mean, they're probably looking for the next CD to put in. There was a pile of them that came in. Well, you know, 4th of July, pretty popular here. And we have a pretty good fireworks. I'm going to try and record that this year and show you guys. For as small a town as it is, we really do have a pretty good fireworks. A lot of people donate to it. Okay. Oh, that would be awesome, Kathleen. I really appreciate that. Hi, Martha. How are you doing? No, they're not all customer quilts. And then the last 7 that I counted are all like lap size baby quilts that were actually made in my sewing group, and those can be quilted anytime. They're going to go, they're donation quilts. So yeah, and the rest of them are pretty much mine. Yeah, so just kind of, I think I have 2 that are customer quilts. Kind of cut back on the customer quilts there for a little while, but if anybody has any that you need me to quilt for you, let me know. I could take 1 or 2 because I always put mine on the back burner, you know. And I have another small quilt, wall hanging quilt, like I did earlier today. I got 1 more that's just like that, so I'll get that one done. Oh, that would be awesome, Barbara. Sorry. Nobody lives close to me. That's the problem. It would be nice if we could all get together. Uh-oh, one of my stars kind of moved, laying on top of the flower. Yeah, I would love to teach somebody how to long arm. That would be awesome. I have told some of the local girls if they wanted to come up and use the long arm, just let me know. But nobody's taken me up on it, which I think is really weird. Oh, that's a good. Well, you know, when I just read your comment, Constant. Um, when I first started, I did all my my quilting with this sewing machine. And then I bought the frame, the long arm frame, because I found it on sale for a really good price. And I actually put this machine on the long arm. And I did a lot of quilts that way. And then one day my husband said, you know, you're sure doing a lot of quilts. I said, I know. It sure would be nice if I had a long arm. And he said, what's that? So I told him. And he said, well, why don't we get you one? I said, yeah, why don't we? So we did. And it's actually paid for itself. Because when I first got it, the first year or two, I did a lot of customer quilts. And Kathleen, you're so funny. Kim even thinks you're funny. Oh, yeah. Oh, you know what, Nancy? You're probably right. Because then somebody else would have to do the donation quilts. Yeah, you're probably right. They'd have to come up and help me. I didn't even think of that. But that makes a lot of sense. Well, one of the ladies is 85 years old, so, and um, I don't know about her coming upstairs anymore. You know, 4 or 5 years ago, I didn't, she was in better shape, and she didn't have any problem coming up, but now I'm not too sure. Kathleen. June says, I would have taken you up on it if I lived close. I was so happy about a year ago. I got a long arm, but I literally had it here for almost a year before I set it up. Oh no, June, really? Were you like afraid to get going on it? Now let me tell you, if you can doodle, you can long arm, and you probably oh you're probably good at it now, and you're probably not afraid of it by now. But if there's anybody out there who's just learning how to do quilting, free motion quilting, if you can doodle, you can long arm. And you know what? It doesn't have to be perfect when you first start out. And do those quilt sandwiches to start out with. And even if, you know, go, okay, go to the Goodwill and buy some sheets, okay? You know, something that you're not going to like. Nobody wants them, that kind of thing. And use those sheets to make your sandwiches, quilt sandwich. All right? Then instead of using batting, you don't have to use batting in there. Buy an old blanket from the Goodwill. Okay? So just a thin blanket, like it looks like batting, but it's actually a blanket. And I can't remember what the kind of material it is, but everything sticks to it, okay? And you can use that for the inside for batting. You don't have to use your pretty fabric and your expensive batting and all that to practice on. Okay? That's what I did. And you could still use those practice pieces for, you know, whatever, for the dogs or cats to lay on. And keep practicing on those. Well, it's not flannel. Here, I'll take you over there. Okay, 1, 2, 3. It's not really flannel. Can you see that? I don't know what do they call that, but it's just a blanket. It still even has the binding on it, like a silky, I don't know what they call it. Anyway, yeah, just use that. Make yourself little sandwiches, quilt sandwich that's fabric, batting, or a blanket with fabric. That's your quilt sandwich. And practice on that. So that's what I did. And at first I was on this, right? And I even did that when I got my Longarm. I just loaded an old sheet, not the whole thing, you know, like about a yard. And that's what I loaded on there with a blanket. And practice on that for a while. Okay? And, you know, I spent like maybe $6 on 2 sheets and a blanket. Then, so we had a little sewing group, right? There was like 4 or 5, sometimes 6 of us ladies that would get together down at the VFW. And we used the kitchen for a sewing room area. Like, you know, they used to call it the ladies auxiliary, but now it's the auxiliary or something like that because you have to include the men. So you can't call it the ladies auxiliary anymore. Anyway, that's a different subject. And we decided as a group that we were going to do these small quilts for young kids. So, you know, a baby to like a lap, small twin size quilts. And some of them we were tying, but some of them for practice, I would bring them home and practice on those. And that didn't really matter because they were for donation, right? And I did 44 of those quilts. By the time I was done, I was pretty good at free motion with this machine. And so that's another way. Also, when you're first starting out, your friends, you might have friends out there who would love to have their quilt quilted for free, just so you can practice, right? So I did that on a few quilts. Of course, it was after I did those 44, because then I felt pretty confident that I wouldn't ruin somebody's quilt. And so I took in a few of those kind. And yeah, well, we wanted 2 quilts in every officer's vehicles. Um, so there's 22 officers, right? We wanted at least for each of them to have 2 quilts in the car or the trunk, you know, especially in this area with search and rescue and all that during the winter time. I wish they would have told us if how those quilts were ever used. I would have liked to have heard, but so anyway, that's kind of how I went about it. Now, I do have some videos on free motion quilting, how to get you started and different ideas. So those videos are, there's a playlist. You're welcome, to go back and watch those if you're interested. It, there's all kinds of tips on how to get you started. And good night, June. Thanks so much for coming. Okay. Sweet dreams. Yeah. Doodling on a whiteboard. I do that too. Definitely get a whiteboard. That way you're not wasting all that paper. Whiteboard and those dry erase markers. So I'm just kind of roughly cutting these out. And then so my thumb is actually getting pretty sore. I probably should stop. But I'm so darn stubborn, I guess. That's what my mom used to say. Yeah, Jim, exactly. That's a great idea. He said he used the fleece for the backing without any batting on the kids' quilts. Yeah, it all depends on what kind of quilt you want. Um, you find some sort of blanket like that and just use that for the back. That would be make an awesome blanket with your quilt top on top of it. That would be really cool. Because if you put batting in with that, and make it pretty heavy. And sometimes you might want it to be like that, depending on what kind of area you live in. Yeah, I don't do too much ruler work. I do have a few rulers, but I would like to do more. I need to do more practicing with that. And I didn't ever do any ruler work with this. But I'm actually pretty good at drawing a straight line. Every now and then, again, I kind of go cattywampus. Oh, like the old thermal blankets? Yeah, it probably is fleece. Oh, that's probably true, Kathleen, about your doodle. Zen tangles. Oh, I see. I don't know if you're still there, June, or not, but I read your comment about your long arm table. And then your son-in-law finally came over and helped you. That's good. Yeah, my husband helped me set this one up. It is kind of a two-person job, that's for sure. Okay. A couple more to do, and then I'm probably going to go ahead and get off here. I can hear the neighbors. Yep, they found the next CD to put in. Hi, Candy. How are you doing? You're up early. Okay, sounds good, Kathleen. I'll send you a message. I know I'll be long arming. What's tomorrow? Wednesday? Yeah. I think Thursday we have those doctor's appointments, but definitely I'll be long arming and sewing tomorrow. And I'll probably be finishing that, working on this some more a little bit. Really would at least like to get them ironed down, and then I can take them downstairs to the downstairs sewing sewing machine because it has all my fancy stitches on it. That's true, Meredith. Let me show you. Um, I have two vinyl rolls, and I got this vinyl. It was on sale at a quilt store, and it was all one big sheet. And so I cut it up. And so one piece is what I use to doodle. Like I'll put a quilt block underneath it and then doodle. And I use this on the long arm. Okay. And so be sure and put painter's tape around it so you don't go off of your vinyl onto your quilt. Okay. So this one's really handy if you're sitting down over here and you want to just, you could just doodle on it, or, you know, grab some of your different orphan blocks and stuff like that, you know, put them underneath there, and then you can practice. So that's one thing. And then the next one I have is much longer. And I use this over at the long arm. So I'll kind of work out what I'm going to do, mostly when I'm custom quilting something. Every now and then, now and again, getting tired. Um, if I'm working on a new pattern that I haven't done before, like fish, um, I'll work it out on here. And you can use the dry erase markers on that vinyl. And then I use scrap pieces of cotton batting as an eraser. Works really good. And then my little whiteboard is this. So this is another thing you can doodle on. And after I have practiced on these, you know, and I feel like I got it down pretty well, I also have a notebook, and I have it separated, like ideas for blocks, borders, or edge to edge. So I have it kind of separated. Somebody just lit off a firecracker. Here comes Willa. It's okay, baby. Gosh darn them. Um, anyway, so I kind of make my own scrapbook on quilt designs stuff. Yeah, use the fabric that you don't like too. Oh, that's a good idea, Kathleen. Yeah, everybody has a lot of good ideas. Yep. And there's a lot of teachers on YouTube too. So check, you know, look around, find somebody that you can understand the instructions well, you know. And I used to watch a lot of Leah Day, and gosh darn, more fireworks. It's okay, baby. Leah Day, and of course Angela Walters. And so here's some vinyl from a shower curtain from the Dollar General. It's a little bit flimsier than that other vinyl, but it still would work the same way. But I definitely would put the painter's tape around that, because you, especially if you're working on customer quilts, you do not want to get markers on a customer quilt. Oh, really, Jim? One cat likes to see the fireworks going off, and the other one hides. I know, Kathleen. Me too. All right, I'm going to have to close that patio door. Could you guys hear that? I hate to be a complainer. I know the 4th of July is coming up and everybody wants to have a good time, but really, it's 11:30. It's a weeknight. See, and the thing about it is we don't have a permanent police officer around here. And so people just think they can do whatever the hell they want to do, you know. Although I'm sure this weekend there'll be a cop or two around. They used to have one here, but I think the town got too small. But I think it should be like, you know, the old days, like you have a sheriff, you know. Okay, Lynn, have a good day. I'm going to be running too. And Willa just ran out of here. And I think she's probably going to go to bed because now she's scared. So, yeah, I think I'm going to go to bed too. Let me look through here real quick. Um, he's not feeling too bad. He just gets really tired easily, and he is taking one or two naps a day, and they're pretty long naps. So we got to get him taken care of because he can't get anything done, and it's really starting to depress him, you know. Oh, you are, Candy. Get up for a little while during the night. You're welcome, Barb. Okay, Miss Taylor. Take care. Bye, Kim. Thanks for moderating. Appreciate you. You doing laundry, Kathleen? Hugs and blessings to you too. Gloria, 2:30. Yeah. Oh, Constance says it's got big fireworks going on too. Okay, Jim. See you around. Okay. Good night. Good night, Kathleen. Maybe I'll talk to you tomorrow, huh? And bye, JB. Have a good night. Good night, Meredith. Good night, Jim. Good night, Candy. Good night, Constance. Good night, Gloria. Good night, Kim. Barbara S. Taylor. Good night. Lynn. Good night. Meredith. Uh, June. I think she's already gone. Mary V. Good night. Okay. I think, not sure who else is all in there, but good night, Susan. Good night, Deb. Good night, Martha. Good night, Katie. Oh, good night, Marla. Good night, Crystal. Everybody's popping in, so I'll wait just a few minutes in case you want to stay. Good night. Oh, well, I'm not sure if I'll be live tomorrow or not, but you never know. Yeah, bed is a good decision. I think I'm looking kind of tired. And I think I'm ready. I think I'm ready now. I could probably fall asleep. Bye, Shirley. Good night. Good night, John Boy. Good night, Mary Ellen. Yep. Okay. All right. Thanks for joining me. You guys all be blessed and be good to one another. Say nice things. Be sure and guys. Thank you. Thanks for joining me.